get into it. This is a show hosted by Bobby Lee and Kalila. And it wasn't great. All right, let's get on to Stuttering John's lawsuit. So anyway, Stuttering John lost his lawsuit. Oh, do you guys want to talk about TigerBelly first? Oh. This is a big show. 590,000 subscribers on YouTube. Bobby Lee, I know him from Mad TV.
Right.
He was a frequent guest on Opie and Anthony. Always a little out of control.
That's his charm.
That's his charm, right? That he kind of can't control himself and his life's like spiraling out of control at all times.
Does that lend itself to a podcast format?
He's like the Asian Artie Lang, right?
Sure. Well, okay. I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
That doesn't compute at all. I like Artie.
They were both on Mad TV.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's one connection.
Yeah. I feel like Bobby Lee is like a straight flamer. He's like a screaming queen running around, like falling out all the time and just like flying off the handle, and that's his thing.
It used to be. He seemed to calm down now.
Maybe.
I was checking out this TigerBelly show, and I was expecting him to be like, whoa, what's he going to do next? Right. This is going to be crazy, bouncing off the wall. And instead, he's like getting sentimental. And
yeah. How did you decide to do this one?
Well, it's Patrick Michael's favorite show.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's
the barometer now?
He loves TigerBelly. Somebody suggested it. I don't know, Andy. You know how this works.
Well, I went to look at the episodes. I was like, oh, Mark Norman's on this one. I'll listen to this. I kind of like this.
Yeah.
And Anthony Jeselnik's on. I'll listen to this. What's so wrong with this?
Right.
And then I listened to one where Bobby Lee wasn't even on it. And I was like, this is terrible.
Okay. Why would they do the show without Bobby Lee?
I know, that's why I didn't even bother clipping from that. I was like, this isn't the real show.
All right. Eric, what were your thoughts? Do you have a clip that maybe sums up the show for you?
Well, yeah, actually I have two because Andy talked about the one that he listened to. Bobby wasn't there. I did clip that show because it's one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard in my life. Okay, so I have a clip from that particular show. All right, and so if you were to play my clip 11, this sums up that show.
Like there was a dollhouse.
Yes, I did.
Because I'm like, I'm getting these images. Like, did you have like this dollhouse? It was like this dollhouse.
Was it haunted? I don't know. I don't know.
Answer the question, Sarah.
That's great.
What a great format.
Okay, dude. All right. If I'm Bobby Lee and he leaves for the country to go to Hungary to make a movie. These assholes do the show without him. If I'm him, I'm pissed off because you've lost so many audience members because of the catastrophe that it was. They were eating on the microphone. Everybody's making food and eating it. It was absolutely horrible.
So Eric Zane, veteran of the Free Beer and Hot Wing show, what did you guys like to do? Did you like to all talk over each other all the time? Was that good radio?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
and that was one of the key things that they taught us. Try not to do it. It did happen from time to time, but I mean that's one of my biggest pet peeves is hearing people do that.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating.
I have another clip though that sums it up when Bobby is actually there. Now the show, it's weird because when they start it, you're picking it up in mid conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is when Bobby comes back from making this movie in Hungary. Clip number 44 sums up the nonsense of the episode with when Bobby is there with Kalila.
What are the sea of unholy creatures?
They're creatures that don't exist on the planet.
Like?
He better not say Filipinos.
Well, no, you're not a sea creature. You're a land creature.
Wait, I want to be a sea creature. I'm so
but you're
proud
not
to be a sea creature.
Yeah,
Please.
but no. When I say wading through waters with unholy creatures, is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
unholy.
wading through a sea of unholy creatures.
Wading through a sea of unholy creatures.
Let's be clear. I'm pretty unholy.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. You're a land creature for sure.
Let's be clear. I don't know how to walk even.
You can climb a tree like a motherfucker, though.
I sure can. For some mangoes, I sure will.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to be as confused as I was. I'm like, what the fuck? And then it always drives me crazy because I hear shows like this and then I see the numbers and it is so fucking frustrating to see and hear somebody be so unbelievably successful in this mode of communication. With that,
I had that same clip. I was like, what is this pertaining to? Am I supposed to know what they're talking about? Should I even care about it?
Yeah.
Should I keep asking questions that I don't know the answer to?
It starts with the pre-show banter. We just kind of pick up mid-conversation. And then they really get into it with the theme music. An elevator would find this boring.
Yeah.
This is the worst theme music I've ever heard for a show. It doesn't get me excited. But then Bobby Lee is shot out of a cannon. And he's one of these guys who's more energy than he is content.
Right.
Right? He's more energy than jokes.
Yep.
Kind of guy. So this is him. He has to sing everything.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. We're back. We're back in town. We're back in town. I'm back in town.
So that's audio from the podcast. Now, what I learned is that the YouTube video is where you should be consuming this.
Yes, I realized that when I was doing clips. I found
it's more of a YouTube show than it is a podcast because that exact same thing on YouTube sounded like this.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. We're back. We're back in town. We're back in town. I'm back in town. It's been weird being back, guys. It's like,
why would they put the production into YouTube and not use the same audio for the podcast?
Right, especially if it's an audio like bump up. Like,
yeah.
Put it in the podcast where it's only in audio format.
Correct. They're helping the audio. They're like, we don't need this for the audio only version. Okay. Weird.
And Carl, you mentioned that song. That's Bobby and Kalila performing. They wrote that song, and they titled it. And the title of the song, I don't even like saying it, but they titled it Shadow Gook. That's the name of the fucking song.
Okay. I mean, this is a very pro-Asian show.
Yes,
you also have this
absolutely.
producer, Gilbert Gallon. Does not look like a Gilbert to me, this guy. You know what I mean? He's a Filipino kid. I thought that was kind of odd.
And by the way, Kalila's half Filipino. She's also Egyptian, but she completely forgot the Egyptian part because all she talks about is Filipino this, Filipino that. Let's eat Filipino food. Let's go to the Philippines. Let's do Filipino trivia. Fuck you.
I'm sure when people start beating up Egyptians, she'll lean into that more.
Hey, let me tell you, they should change the name of this show to we're trying to create a stereotype that Asians are annoying podcast.
Oh,
that's what they
should.
That's exactly what they should call it.
Yeah, well, you left out the broken English part of the intro, the theme song, where he just starts like talking, like a stereotypical Chinese singing, and it's very racist.
Oh yeah, you found it racist? And you have a problem with that?
Cancel him.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, Bobby Lee was just over in Hungary filming this movie Borderlands, which is based on the video game. And the cast is quite impressive.
Right.
And he does tell you about this impressive cast.
Let's tell people what I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's a movie called Borderlands, and it's based on the video game, and Eli Roth is directing it. And it's got a lot of big people: Jamie Lee Curtis, Edgar Ramirez, Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black plays Claptrap, the robot.
He's basically an extra in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he says that. Like I give him credit because he's got humility and he's not trying to be like, oh, I'm this big Hollywood star now. He's like, I get 5 lines in the movie.
Right.
You know? And he was there for months shooting it, which is crazy. But
it's funny. I noticed that too. And in fact, he was really quick to tell. He wanted Kalila to tell the story about when. Because he kind of like befriended Kevin Hart's bodyguards, and he just wanted to drop Kevin Hart's name. My clip 45. He talked about this prank with Kevin Hart's bodyguards.
And so he FaceTimes me. And he's like, "Hey babe, I'm eating over here." And he goes over to Kevin Hart's bodyguards. He was like, "Hey guys, I want you to meet my girlfriend." But as he turns the phone, I turn my phone to my cat's face. And so they're only looking at a cat.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Damn, dude, you into bestiality?"
And let me just say this. That was a running joke for a month.
Wow.
Them saying it to everybody.
And
Yo, that guy's
No, they didn't care. They fucking thought it was stupid, just like you.
Kalila wasn't there, but she had to be a part of it somehow. So she had to talk about a time that they were FaceTiming. And it didn't seem like he got real close with Kevin Hart. I think that Kevin Hart was a little bit too big. But one person they did get to know was Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, I have a clip on here, and the only reason why I'm playing it is because you have to know that Kalila is Bobby Lee's girlfriend. On the internet, people think that they're married. There's a lot of speculation that they're actually married and trying to keep that, which is really lame. To do a podcast with your wife, that's lame.
Yeah.
Never a cool thing.
Yeah.
So he's talking about meeting Jamie Lee Curtis, and the reason why I'm playing you this clip is because I was watching on YouTube, and Kalila is glaring at him. Like she is not happy about what he's saying here.
By the way, I'm not. She's better, a better person than I've ever met anyone else
In the industry.
in life.
Really?
In fucking life, bro. She's just, there's not a bad bone in her body, man.
She's glaring at him. The greatest person you've ever met ever? Yes. Ever met ever. You don't know anyone else as great as her. No. Right. I've never met anyone else as great as JLC.
I don't know if you clipped it, the line about the back rub.
No, I didn't clip that.
Okay, he then went on to talk about how he kept describing her as motherly, which was kind of getting him off of the hook about Jamie Lee Curtis. But then he talks about she was rubbing his back for like half a minute. Now, if some chick started rubbing my fucking back, I don't care if she's 75 years old or however old Jamie Lee Curtis
leave
is.
Jenny from the Jingles department out of this, Eric Zane.
You know, he's telling that story too, and I thought the same thing. I was like, holy shit, she's gonna get pissed.
Yeah, she was. Did you watch the video at all?
I didn't. I just listened to it, but I was thinking it, and then you telling me that she was, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Let's get into Kalila, shall we?
Sure.
Because
Can I?
Yeah. Let's talk about this. Because he just gets back from doing this movie, and he's all jazzed up because he's rubbing elbows with all these Hollywood people and hanging out with them and everything else. And, of course, Kalila has to make it about her, but it doesn't actually add content to the show at all.
Hey.
Thank you.
I'm excited. That's awesome.
Good to be back.
Out in theaters, whenever. I don't know.
Boy, my life has not been as exciting. In fact, it has been a dreadful.
I know. Well, what you're
weeks.
going through is the polar opposite.
Polar opposite.
I believe. Can we talk about stuff?
No.
Stuff,
We shouldn't. We shouldn't
why?
talk about it.
So why did you bring it up then?
Yeah.
Why are you like, by the way, you were having a good time. My life is terrible. Oh, really? Why? What's going on? I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're on a podcast. Like
I'll yell at you off air.
That's the whole point. And this drags on for some reason.
We shouldn't talk about it.
Can we just vaguely go around it?
Let me just.
Can we just vaguely go around
I'm going to vaguely make a statement.
Right now?
And my statement is that.
Say it to the camera.
Holy shit. I didn't know it could be this bad. But let's leave it at that.
All right. You guys want to
possibly be talking
Do you guys want to speculate on what she's talking about?
My speculation is going to be worse than what it really is, I'm sure.
I'm guessing it's the first time she was getting fisted anally. I don't know. What do you got?
I don't know. Maybe the realization her husband's 5'4" and 230 pounds.
Maybe she's transitioning to female.
Third miscarriage.
Well, fortunately, Bobby Lee helps us understand what's going on in her life with more vague information.
I'm just saying that, like, you're in a game,
Yeah.
right? And you're up to bat, right? And sometimes the pitches are weird, right? Sometimes you'll hit it. Sometimes, you'll strike out, right? But the key is to keep batting because you're going to hit one. And you're going to hit a home run. And I think that that's the most important thing.
Fucking Yogi Berra.
Yeah. Great pep talk. So, remember we talked about the apology show? That'd be a fun show format. We just come on and apologize for shit. I got another one now. I think would be good. Vaguely talking about our personal lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Veiled analogies.
Yeah. Like Eric. Oh, man, that guy that you used to know that you reconnected with and he had that thing going on, man, that was heavy.
Oh, yeah. He's kind of like sometimes if you're a defensive end and then sometimes the quarterback's a little weird and then the defensive end might get a double team and then, maybe somebody misses a block or a chop block.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's like
Jesus Christ. What kind of show is this? So, of course, I go on the subreddit because I want to see what are people speculating. What do they think happened?
Right.
So, one of the theories was that Kalila, she has this other show because, of course, she does. And that show is with two other female comedians. And they had to rename it because they called it, what was it called? I should have written it down here. They called it something that was already taken.
What was the name of that song?
Bloodbath.
Oh, okay.
It was called. And Bloodbath is already a true crime podcast. So then they had to change the name. People are like, oh, maybe they're speculating that she had to change the name of the podcast. But I think more likely what somebody else was saying was that she had this idea that she was pitching in Hollywood that she thought was huge, and it got totally rejected.
That sounds
I'm thinking every
accurate.
studio house was like, no. If they even took a meeting with her.
Right.
And she's going, oh, this is so hard. It's so hard to make it in Hollywood with no talent
Right.
and just a C-list boyfriend.
Yeah. I pitched this terrible idea all over town, and nobody wanted it.
I know it's so difficult. It's so and this just goes on and on and on.
What you did while I was gone, we don't want to get into details about it, but was very brave and impressive, and everyone said it. Like everyone that I talked to was like, "God, your girlfriend is amazing," and I go, "I know."
Ugh. And this is they're talking about something that they're not talking about. I don't even know how you do that.
Right.
I wouldn't even know how to. I mean,
I don't
Eric
know
did
how
a pretty
to
good
listen
job.
to it either. Yeah.
And besides, these are these woke assholes. So this is kind of like his idea of brave.
Yeah.
Is probably like eating a kale salad.
I just feel like he's been in LA too long. He's, one of these Hollywood douchebags. My clip 7 is just kind of him douching around LA.
And scene and energy. Energy. Positive energy. I take the glasses off. It's ridiculous. These glasses are ridiculous. People go, "Are they prescription?" I go, "No." Then they go, "Why are you wearing them?" I go, "Because of fashion." And then they make a face. You know what I mean? But I'm getting old, so you have to put nice ornaments on the tree.
Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck was going on there. I thought this was like a replay or something because he's talking about ornaments on the tree, and then she's talking about a Charlie Brown tree or some shit like that. Yeah. And right away, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, you're just listening to boring people talk about nothing.
I have to remind myself, he's old. He's 50. He's the same age as me. And one of the things he does is he's talking about this for this to frustrate him like this tells me that there's really something fucked up about this guy. He's describing how broken up he is about a fucking video game that he's playing in Hungary. Okay, when he's on the set of this fucking movie. This is my clip 47, and it always drives me crazy. I mean, I don't mind people playing video games. I really don't. It doesn't matter what age you play it. I don't because I just don't have any fucking time. But when you get this wrapped up in a fucking video game that this moment happens, it's a little embarrassing.
Babe, I'm calling to let you know I'm done. I'm like, what are you done with? I'm done with Warzone. I swear to God. I'm like, what happened? I don't know. I was just hanging out. I got shot in the head 15 times.
No, that's not what it is.
Rage quit?
That's not what it is.
It wasn't that?
No, it was, I'm playing multiplayer, and I'm in the world. All of a sudden, there's a sniper. He shoots me down. Okay, you know what I mean? Respawn. 10 seconds later, sniper. I died like 15 to 20 times in a row from a sniper, and I just literally went, yeah, this is not fun.
All right. Let me explain how entertainment with video games works. Playing the game, best thing you can do. Watching someone play the game, second best thing you can do. Hearing about somebody who was playing the game and what happened to them, worst thing.
Yeah, and sucking at it.
Yeah, worst thing you could do. Oh, tell me about the video game you played. I picture that Willy Wonka meme.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I know.
And the thing is, he didn't even go anywhere with it. He just ended it with, I was so frustrated. I just couldn't play anymore. And then that was it.
Well, getting pwned by a 13-year-old in Call of Duty is probably the maddest I've ever been in my whole life.
But dude, you got to put it behind you, man. You got to have a short memory. That's how you live your life. Can't dwell on these things.
Well, he was in his big movie, and he's going to tell you all about it. In my clip 8, it's like, that name looks awfully heavy, Bobby.
The whole time I was in Hungary, I was like, I can't wait to get home. And now that I'm here, I kind of miss Hungary a little bit.
What part do you miss?
I miss the smells of Edgar Ramirez.
No.
Hey, Bob, tell me more.
He has a spicy smell about him, you know?
Look at me. I'm in a movie with Edgar Ramirez, who people barely know. This guy's not like a household name, but he's got to bring it up.
You know him.
I had to look it up. I do know who it is, but not by his real name.
Well, I didn't. I did look him up,
Right.
but I did and the thing is, they actually had kind of an angle here because Kalila, that's her hall pass for some reason. She wants to have sex with that guy. So they, and you guys heard that. They kind of laughed about that and did their thing. But then this happens out of the fucking blue because this is all very a lot of this show is very sanitized. There wasn't a lot going on that was making me like go whoa or anything like that. But then this happens. My clip 48 and 49.
Soon as you're done,
Yeah.
right? doing your stuff with him,
You can suck the
I will
cum.
suck the shit out of you.
You're,
Suck.
That's
you
how
can
you get
suck
her to
my
suck-
cum out of his asshole.
You can basically.
no.
Yeah.
I'm
you
going
can
to
suck my warm cum out of his fucking dong dong.
Fuck.
Yeah. That escalated quickly, didn't it?
I have to go throw up.
That is fucking so sick. These
Your mon-
fucking animals.
Your money, I'll meet him before you.
I just have a feeling I'd get along with both of them.
I have a
better.
feeling that I'll meet them before, and I have a feeling that you'll be sucking my cum out of their asses.
Your cum always in their ass.
You know what? I'll take secondhand cum.
You know,
Fucking.
what was interesting too was the way that Gilbert responded to him talking about how this guy smells. I thought for sure Gilbert was gay. It just seemed that way.
Okay.
And then later in the show, he says that he's engaged to a girl. So that was a twist.
You were shocked. By
Yeah, it was like M. Night Shyamalan show. Like, whoa! Didn't see that one coming.
Well,
He was dead the whole time.
Yes.
he was straight the whole time. No way.
All right, let's talk about their ad reads. I have to get into
Oh
this.
no.
Let's start with Zip Recruiter.
Then after that, they're like, all right, you have 2.5 weeks off.
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Hey guys, we're gonna take a really quick break to share some of our favorite sponsors.
ZipRecruiter.com.
Hiring can really feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Oh boy, everyone knows hiring is a nightmare. At least it was before ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, we vastly overestimate how many podcast listeners are in a position to hire someone.
I never understood why I hear Zip Recruiter on every single podcast I listen to, but must be working for them. I don't.
You know what's interesting about the ZipRecruiter thing is they're supposed to say ZipRecruiter.com/belly because then they get credit for it. They have to add the /belly.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So they would always say it, and then they would never say /belly, and then you hear Gilbert go /belly. He would always try to fit it in there. It would never work though. By 46.
All right.
Quality candidate within the first day.
You hear that, George?
One
Gilbert?
day, George.
Quality candidate. Be very afraid.
It's no wonder over 2.3 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter.com for their hiring needs.
Belly.
So while other companies
Well, it's funny. They're not good at the ad reads. So this is one for BetterHelp. And Bobby's gone through some shit. Like he's got some serious anxiety, and he's got things. I remember that Opie and Anthony, Stalker Patty spread her ass cheeks, and Bobby had a panic attack and had to leave the studio. And he thought he was locked in the studio. And he's pulling out the door, and he couldn't get out. And he ran down the hall, and he got out. Bobby's got some weird shit going on.
He showed his ass on radio too. What is he worried about?
Stalker Patty.
Yeah, I guess.
So anyway, they're talking about BetterHelp, of course.
Yeah.
Which they claim to also use. But it's weird because this is the most insincere ad read. And if you watch it on YouTube, they have a screen. They're both sitting next to each other. The screen is to their right. So they're both looking at the screen where the ad copy is and reading it. And it's very obvious that they're reading it, and they're not good at it.
Well, what I love about it, it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. The service is available for our clients worldwide, and it's confidential, it's convenient, it's professional, affordable. It's just a really great service, guys.
Is that what you love about it, Bobby? It's just really, really a great service.
He's reading. I mean,
He's
and that's all they do is they just read the ads. They don't ever try to make it personal in any way. It's
Make
kind
up
of
a dumb song to sing at the beginning of it.
Well, you got to be like Eric Zane and be like, so I took my car to Bill's Garage yesterday, and let me tell you about Bill's Garage.
What's funny is every time Carl joins me, I'm usually doing an ad.
Yep.
Right when he checks in, I'm talking about Bill's Garage.
I found another show. I pitched Kimberly for Kimberly and Beck's show.
Yeah.
Same shit. It's
all
fucking local ads on a
local
podcast.
ads. We got to check that out.
Yeah.
We definitely got to check that out. I have a rule about local podcasts and local shows. Kimberly, we might need to make an exception.
Yeah.
She's interesting. Last thing I want to do on these ad reads. So they're doing an ad for this thing called Freshly. And what I think is funny here is that Bobby kind of loses himself. So he actually gets off script, and Kalila has to get him back on script because what he's saying, I'm sure the client would not be happy about.
I come home sometimes, I'll see a Freshly box outside my door, and I get really excited because it's easy to make and it's high quality food that you just microwave or you heat up. I grew up with microwavable foods because my parents were lazy, and the quality, I remember as a kid going, "This is not good." You know what I mean?
With Freshly,
but with Freshly, you when you eat it, it's like you can tell that every little thing is thought through and it's fresh.
It's like, by the way, when you just microwave food, pre-made food, it's garbage, and everyone knows that. It sucks.
Well,
no, but not this one. This one's the exception. I'm sorry. Whoops.
I remember eating something just like this, and it was god awful. But try this.
Not only that, he just called any customer of Freshly lazy.
Yes. If you're lazy like my parents were, get Freshly. I had to look this thing up because I'm not familiar with Freshly, and it literally is a box that comes delivered to you, and you put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, and then you eat that. It's like, how could that be good? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. And Freshly, if you want to sponsor the show and send me some products,
prove us wrong.
Yeah, I'd be happy to check it out. But I just can't imagine that that's something I'd want to eat. But what do I know? Eric, what else did you pick up on, my friend?
Well, this show is the master show of insane laughs. Insane, horrible laughs. 51 all the way to 51 to 55. 51 starts
I love
with Kalila has a friend named Corey, and Bobby is jealous. He doesn't like Corey. Bobby is also funny. Or Kalila says Corey is funny, and Bobby doesn't like that either, okay? Corey is funny, though. Kalila agrees, and then there's a horrible laugh from, I think it's Gilbert.
That's where I draw the fucking line. Okay? Go ahead.
Also, she said she likes him because he's funny.
Oh, no.
See?
Which he is. He's hilarious.
Holy shit.
Okay.
So that's actually the guy we haven't talked about yet, which I don't even know what his name is, but there's a white guy there too. And he's, because you can see him on YouTube, he's like running the cameras and stuff. And then he does have a mic. They'll talk to him. We just had a kid 2 months ago. So they talked to him about that for a minute. But he he laughed hysterically at that. And I couldn't figure out why. He had to push the microphone away from him because he was laughing so hard. Didn't want to overmodulate.
Oh, God, I hate that guy. Seriously. I was so angry. This is another one of these shows, and this is a perfect thing to describe, because when Kyle makes us listen to these shows, I'm like, son of a bitch, it's fucking fatiguing to have to sit there.
Yes.
It's work. This is fucking work.
Yep.
It's great, and I love it, but man, son of a bitch, it is. I have so many negative feelings when I listen to these shows. They make me so angry, and that's one of the reasons why. If you could play all those ridiculous laughter drops, that'd be great.
That's what I am, bubble above, and I'm just like this, edgelord.
You're so ridiculous. Millionaire.
Edgelord millionaire. Okay.
Yeah, they were really leaning into this edgelord because I guess someone on the set was calling him an edgelord when he was in Hungary, and he didn't know what that was for some reason. Like, Bobby is one of these guys who he wants people to think he's just like dumb and out of it. He was talking to this white guy, the producer or whatever he is, the camera guy, and he calls him out on having a bad bit, which is great. I like it when people do that. I think that's funny. But then he brings up a word that he doesn't understand what it means.
Why are you giving me that glare?
It was a good
because
segue.
your bit right there kind of ate it.
Babe, what about this?
Wait. What you just said kind of ate it in so different ways.
Jules thinks I'm funny.
I know. I'm just saying.
Jules,
you were laughing. You're describing this thing, and you were eating it real bad, and it fell flat. I love you. Is that me being gaslighting?
No, that's
No,
not
that's not gaslighting.
What is that?
That's just
being an asshole.
I'm an asshole.
You're bullying.
Dude, your bit sucked. I'm sorry. I'm gaslighting you. I apologize.
No, it did suck. It's honesty, not gaslighting.
There were charming parts of the show. Don't get me wrong.
We're there.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't find it all bad.
I like Bobby Lee.
I think he's all right.
I always have thought he was funny. We're just roasting the show, but in 9, he wants it both ways. He wants all the fame, but he doesn't want to be a Hollywood douchebag. Clip 9 is Boo-hoo, I'm famous.
Okay, this is going to be a month and a half of sheer boredom. Because no one's going to want to hang out with me. And also on top of it, it's like, I'm barely in the movie.
Well, the first 2 weeks you called me crying.
Yeah, I cried. It was like, I'm barely in the movie. I have like 6 lines here, 6 lines there, 1 line periodically, you know what I mean? But maybe 10 to 12 lines to the whole thing. And I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so I'm thinking, they're not going to, I'm like an extra.
Right.
It's such a dick thing. He doesn't even realize how many 22-year-old guys from Cincinnati are lined up around the block to suck Eli Roth's dick to be in this movie. Okay?
He might know that. He might have been there about 20 years ago.
Like it's such a fucking chore. Now brace yourself. Clip 13. Remember when he said that he was barely in it? He only had a couple of lines?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Next day, I think, okay, I'm going to stand in the desert still more. That's fine. But then all of a sudden they go, oh, we switch things around. We're doing your scene. And I don't know.
You don't know the line.
I don't know it.
Oh, man.
I don't know the scene. I thought it was next week. So they're switching it around. Let's go to the church and with Kevin's waiting for you to rehearse. So I was just like, oh my God. And you go there and it's like hundreds of people, cameras, everyone's there.
Stressful.
Eli's there. And I rehearsed it and I fucking nailed it.
Good job, babe.
I nailed the first take. Then I shot one scene, like one take, and Eli just basically goes, "Just do another one. We got it."
So now I'm supposed to be impressed. You practiced twice and nailed it in one take. Wow. Broadway, here we come.
Hold on, though, Andy.
Shakespeare in the Park. Anyone?
He tells the secret and how he was able to pull this off. Which any young actors out there, listen to this.
And this is gonna sound gross, but maybe I don't know, but that when I was talking about the first scene I did, when they said, "Oh, we're shooting your scene right now," and I didn't know, the only thing I said is repeatedly in my head is, "You belong here. You belong here. You belong here. You belong here. You belong here." And I said that to myself 100 times while I was walking to the set.
Nice,
right?
Yeah.
Because there's a part of me that doesn't feel like he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
The rational part of you. That would be the rational part of you that doesn't feel like you should be on the same set with these people. Correct.
Everything is both sides of the coin with him. His he had conservative Asian parents that probably didn't pay a lot of attention to him, so now he wants all the attention that he can get, and then when he gets it, he doesn't know what to do with it.
I think that sums it up pretty well. Yeah. I don't know the guy that well, but that sounds pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
He makes it sound, though, that he has like a 15-minute monologue. He's barely credited in this film. Barely. His lines are probably like, uh-huh, or yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that super drop of all the famous people that are in it, he's not even in the list. There's people I've never heard of on the list, and he's not.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Good on him, though.
He calls it out, too. He's like, I'm not in there.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny.
It's funny.
So this show doesn't seem to have a lot of a format to it until it gets to a reoccurring segment they have, Unhelpful Advice.
Oh, right.
And I thought that this was just kind of surprising to me. So people send in their questions and then they give them unhelpful advice. Get it, Andy?
Yes.
Instead of being helpful, it's on. Okay.
Unhelpful Advice with Bobby and Kalila.
Hey, TigerBelly family. I was recently offered a role in the musical South Pacific.
Great.
But I think I'll have to turn down the part.
Good.
South Pacific first ran on Broadway in 1949. The musical itself does have historical importance for bringing up topics of attacking racism towards Asians by bad whites. So obviously there's a lot of roles for Asian actors, but where I live, I don't have a large Asian population. And I'm afraid there may be a largely white cast because the theater has... that's just how it is. I'd like to talk about this with the director, but I don't want to just stand in the lobby yelling at him.
Wait.
So what this guy is explaining, I'm assuming this is an Asian guy, who's saying, I got the part in this play, but I'm assuming there aren't enough Asians to fill all the parts of Asian characters, and therefore I want to scream at the director, and because of that, I'm not going to take the part, which I thought was odd. And then the response was even weirder to me.
All right, so what he's basically saying is that the director's going to... First of all, the director can't cast white people in Asian parts. Is
Well,
that
that's
what he's
what's
saying?
happening.
That's not going to happen.
Well, here, how about we're in the middle of like this very like white town where the closest Asian is 150 miles away.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, why choose South Pacific?
Sound of music. Sound of music.
Choose Sound of Music.
Do the whitest thing possible.
Yeah.
So this musical that has a really good message that aligns with what their message is, that's pro-Asian, they can't do because there are not enough Asian people who live there. Fucking Alexander Hamilton wasn't Latino. Right. This is all make-believe. Yeah. It's for fun. Where are we getting to this thing now where Dr. Hibbert can't be played by Harry Shearer? It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. That's so funny that he's just like, oh, they're not going to do that. What do you mean?
Yeah.
They cast people that are not that the ethnicity of the character all the time.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
It was always fine.
Right. In Wichita, they're not going to care if a white guy is playing an Asian.
Right.
You know what? It does. They act all woke, but this fucking show is causing hate crimes against Asians, so they can fuck off.
Wow. You heard it here first. So then Bobby has even more advice for this person.
But hey, dude, you can't do it.
You can't do it.
And if they're gonna cast white people for Asian parts, first of all, I can't see any world that's gonna happen. But if you live in such a small town that they're gonna do that, you got to get the fuck away from.
Wait, I have another option.
And move.
No, don't move.
So his advice is you shouldn't even live there. These people are trying to just put on a musical at their local theater. You got to get the fuck out of that place. What?
He wants everybody to start burning all of their copies of David Carradine's Kung Fu.
Right. Wow.
It never happened.
It's not a bad idea.
Wow. Yeah.
So this leads to Bobby Lee talking about the movie Pearl Harbor, and this is also insane.
Also, you know what I hate about the movie Pearl Harbor? It was devastating. They were sleeping. I get it. Okay. But it's like they should extend the part 2 into Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh, that would be intense.
Because it's like, you're seeing one slice of it. It's like, yeah, but look at the second half. The second half is devastating.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like they leave that out.
They leave that out of the movie about a single day in history, December 7th, 1941, and then they don't even talk about the shit happened in 1945. Right. Yeah. Correct.
The movie would be called Nagasaki if that was not Pearl Harbor.
You know what else they leave out? Are all the Japanese war crimes. Where they murdered almost 4 million Chinese people, mostly civilians. They leave that part out too. Go figure. It was a fucking war.
The fact that in the film, can you imagine you're watching one slice of time, like you said, and then they have to do like some type of fast forward effect. Now, 3 years later, you see a mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
Oh my God. God forbid Hollywood do a movie that doesn't paint America as the worst people in the world. Like we've seen that movie. It's fine. There's enough of that out there. But thanks, Bobby. Thank you for making sure that you made your point on why the movie Pearl Harbor is bad. And the movie Pearl Harbor is bad.
Yeah.
That's not why. All right, Eric, you got a bunch of clips. What else you want to talk about, my friend?
Yeah, actually, if you look early on, I sent you guys a lot of clips from the episode that Bobby wasn't there. Okay? And in this episode, you have a lady by the name of Sarah Hyland, who I'm not familiar with. She's a comic, I guess, and kind of like this little flaky artist. And then Kalila is there, and then Bobby's brother, Steve, who goes by the name, which I just hate saying this, Stevie Weeby. Okay?
Okay.
How old are we?
In fact, he sound okay. That sounds annoying, and he sounds annoying. Cut number 16 will give you a good example of how this guy speaks.
Before I play this, though, what's his name again, Eric?
Steve Lee.
No. What's his nickname?
Stevie Weeby.
Stevie Weeby, bottom right.
Oh,
Stevie Weeby, bottom right.
Okay. Oh, how fun. How playful and fun.
Yeah. So, okay. But there's a lot of super annoying parts in this show because it's kind of like it goes off the rails. At least when Bobby's there, he's kind of like the ringleader of it. And then you kind of just fill in the blanks of what he's talking about. But in this one, it was just ridiculous. So they're kind of just all doing their thing and people are bringing food. Okay. Someone is bringing them food that they're eating. So I know how much you love it when people eat on mic.
Never a good idea.
My cut number 3, this is an example of that.
Soy. Yeah. Go ahead. Try it.
Oh, the noodles are good.
Well, it's worse than that because it's a YouTube show, so you're actually watching them eat, too.
Cut number 10. Cut number 10.
Out.
Yeah. It's a trickle
The
down
last
effect.
0.08% of everybody's.
Yeah, and then even the woman manager, she was Korean too, but
Yeah.
I remember like she.
Oh,
God, we
what?
got more
Another
food?
dish?
Okay. All right, thank you so much.
What is it?
Which
Say it
one
out
is
loud,
this,
Jules.
This is lechon kawali with your.
Oh, lechon. Do you eat pork?
Yeah, I eat everything.
Okay.
Hold up, I don't want to like disrespect the food. Let me try.
Yeah, try it.
Ugh.
Oh. Okay.
Gross.
Eat shit.
And ZipRecruiter's like, oh, I bet they're talking to a lot of employers. we got to make sure that we got an ad spot during TigerBelly.
ZipRecruiter know that nobody wants to fucking work anymore?
That's a good point.
Guys, number 19 is my eating supercut.
Fuck you, Eric.
It's amazing how quickly
God
this
damn it.
show becomes everything we hate.
Yeah.
I did that just for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fun. It's not fun to listen to that. Not a fan.
Okay. All right. And then this Sarah Hyland, I don't know what was going on with her voice, but every time she tells a story, it's a really, really bizarre type of cadence and pacing that she has. And her voice is just as annoying as Stevie Weeby's. Number 7, please.
Hard to believe.
Steve, I just want to normalize this for you for a minute from my heart. I want you to look at me in my eye. I used to do that too. Like, meaning that even when I was with Bobby, I worked like 3 fucking jobs. Like, I worked at Starbucks, at the bakery called Sweet Lady fucking Jane. I worked every fucking day sweating. And Bobby would be like, quit one. I was like, no. You know what I mean? Like, I just.
Wendy the Slow Adult was getting jobs? That's interesting. I'm glad to hear that.
And then hearing her talk, it got to a point where this is all I would hear in my brain when she would talk. My clip number 12.
I want to say it was like, yo.
All right, I'll put a beat to that for the YouTube version of this show. That's pretty good.
They played this stupid, annoying game and things like that. And this is clip number 14.
All right.
That looks like me.
So top left, we have the mega mouth shark. Top
The
right,
megamouth shark.
the parrot.
That's a parrotfish. That's a bungus or a milkfish.
And that's Steve Lee.
Stevie Weeby, bottom right.
The bottom right is called a shokoi. It's a Filipino merman.
Blue Lagoon. Dagon the fish god. Stevie Weeby.
It does look like you.
Dagon.
All right, so you reminded me of something, Eric, that was pissing me off because as I'm watching TigerBelly on YouTube and the algorithm is learning what I quote unquote like.
Oh no.
I'm seeing all of these other Two Bears, One Cave, Your Mom's House, like all these other related shows with their 500,000 views.
Everything Patrick Michael likes.
390,000 views. And they all have the same show format. Let's get silly adults together and act silly.
Yeah.
And it's odd to me that this is caught on so much. I mean, they're doing it right. They have the audience, they have the sponsors. So I'm not saying that what they're doing is the wrong thing, but it has to end at some point. People are going to get sick of this, right?
Yeah, I hope
This is like a fad.
Yeah.
Putting on a show with no effort and just giggling over each other is a fad. I got to think.
Well, losers like hanging out with their friends, so that's what all this is. It's
right, but I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, no, you're hanging out with your best friend Bobby Lee and Stevie Weeby.
I just asked myself, I go, who is, I want to meet the person who says, man, I love that so much. It's so great. Where are these people?
You don't know that. You don't know that person, Eric. That person is lonely and doesn't have friends.
They're in Gary, Indiana.
They're in Gary, Indiana.
On my cut, that's Sarah Hyland. My cut's 15 and 17. Her laugh might be the single most enraging thing I experienced outside of Opie in the past week, because that was a lot of frustration this week. Opie, John, and then the 2 episodes of TigerBelly that I listened to. Cuts number 15 and 17 are this Sarah Hyland's. This is the most annoying laugh I've ever heard in my life.
Holy shit.
She sounds like a child. Is she a child?
I know, and it stands out. And she looks like 25 miles of bad road. I mean, she looks rough.
She seems like she's suffered some kind of head injury or drug overdose.
There needs to be some infrastructure funding. Is that what you're saying, Eric Zane?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And if you're in the Filipino or the Asian community, and you've got this show like trumpeting everything Asian, you're like, stop doing that. We don't want to be associated with you. We're not fucked up like this show is.
It is odd to me, and I don't fucking care at all. But it's odd to me how much Bobby Lee leans into the Asian accent and the over-the-top stereotype stuff when he's not like that at all.
Right.
But it's okay for him to do it.
Right.
But God forbid a white person would play an Asian person who is in a fucking play that was written in 1949.
Yeah.
Did you happen to hear that controversy about, I think her name is Tilda Swinton?
No.
Okay.
From Doctor Strange?
Yes, and that's it's about this part. Yeah, she played one of the particular parts, and I guess that was originally an Asian character. So Swinton was cast, but Swinton reached out to Margaret Cho and said, "Hey, I want to know what you think about this. Is this a bad idea, a good idea?" I just kind of she reached out to her like a fellow luminary or another person in the industry to kind of get her take on it. Well, Cho talked to Bobby about that on this exact show, and it was really fucking awkward and weird, and they had a problem that Tilda Swinton asked about it. They didn't like that she approached them and said, "Hey, I need some insight. What do you think about a white person being cast in this role?" Because
Johnny Depp asked people like Indian or Native Americans if it was all right if he played a Native American. And Quentin Tarantino asked Samuel L. Jackson if he could use the N-word 100 million times in all his movies. White people do this all the time. And I mean,
I have permission. I have a permission slip. It's okay. Margaret Cho said it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, has anybody taken Quentin Tarantino to task about it? No, because Sam Jack signed off on it.
Signed off on it, yeah.
So, hey, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, they didn't like that she asked.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Her mistake was saying it was all right. She should have said, no, don't do it.
I wouldn't even ask. I would have just fucking done it.
Right.
Who the fuck is Margaret Cho? I haven't heard that fucking name in 15 years.
I know. Since when is she the authority?
Right. What are we talking? All right. So, also, Bobby Lee is very sensitive. And we learned about this when he got his feelings hurt on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, this is real funny.
This is kind of funny.
Yeah, I love this.
When John Mulaney went to rehab, right, and everyone made a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
And I tweeted, It's a good one. I've been to 4 rehabs and no one gives a fuck.
That was a good tweet.
Right. So that was the last real comedy tweet that I did.
Yeah.
Right. And then I remember I got off of fucking Twitter for 6 months.
That was what did it?
That's what did it. That closed the door because the visceral comments afterwards, like, that's because you're not funny, dude. To me, right? John Mulaney's like an A-list comic. You're C-list. You know what I mean? It just went on and on and on. And I was just like, I was just making a joke. But anyway, I'm going to get off of Twitter because this is very hurtful.
I'm surprised that somebody like Bobby Lee would have to get off Twitter because people are goofing at him for being like a C-list celebrity. I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Just don't read the comments.
Well, just as somebody who gets goofed on nonstop every day, all day, you got to kind of like work with that. Although Eric Zane, we were talking about on his show, on the Eric Zane show, we were talking about it yesterday morning, that Eric has gone through some times when the negative feedback on the internet has gotten to him.
Sorry
Pretty
about
hard.
that, Eric.
Yeah. Oh, I've got the thinnest skin. You notice I'm very quiet about this. I'm like, I like Bobby. I like what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it was funny.
Bobby's Podcast, WATP.